All right, for number two, we're dealing with trig. And just a note, this one, it doesn't matter, it's already set up this way. But for this, with trig, it must be in radians. Like I said, this one's already in radians. There'll be some that we do later that aren't set up in radians at first, and in degrees, you have to convert them. We'll talk about those more later. All right, but number two, it says use a linear approximation to estimate sine of 0.05 and compare the value with the actual value. This is not coming out straightforward and telling us this is our function, this is the x value where it's tangent, approximate this x value. It's not coming out and telling us those things. We have to kind of come up with that from the problem. So first thing we need to figure out is what's the function that we're dealing with. Then we're figuring out the nice x value. That's the point where it's tangent. And the x we're approximating. So, first of all, what's the function that we're dealing with? If we're approximating sine of 0.05. What's the function? Sine, right? F of x equals sine of x. Well, the x value that we're approximating is 0.05. Right, that's the one we're trying to approximate. That's the ugly one, the one that we can't figure out exactly without a calculator. But there's a nice x value, something close to 0.05 that we can actually figure out if we put it in the sine. So what's close to 0.05 and we can take the sine of? Something a lot closer than 1. And we can do sine of 1 either. It's on the unit circle. Think smaller. Think smaller. 0. Right? 0.05 is pretty close to 0. We can figure out sine of 0. Right? So we want to figure those things out first. Now we can kind of start from where we started on the last problem. The point that we're looking at, the point of tangency, that's at the nice x value, 0. And then what happens if we put 0 into x? What's the sine of 0? Good old unit circle. Sine of 0 is 0. Oh my goodness. You're doing a unit circle. All right, so we have the point 0, 0. Then we have to find the slope. So, derivative. What's the derivative of sine? Whoa, we need to study a lot of stuff in this class. Cosine. Derivative of x is cosine of x. So, what is the derivative at 0? What's cosine of 0? You answered it for the last one, but you were wrong. 1, right? So our slope is 1. So now we can write our equation. Y minus 0 equals 1 times x minus 0. Well, this is kind of a boring equation. It just ends up being y equals x. So we can say f of x is approximately equal to x. So around this point of tangency, the x value is going to be pretty close to the y value of our function. So we're trying to approximate at 0.05, so f of 0.05 is approximately 0.05.